welcome the moderator, Dr. Zhengyu Liang, from the professor and chairman of the Department of Civil Engineering, National Taiwan University.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome back to the afternoon section. So in this section, we are going to address engineering education. I think as you heard in the morning opening ceremony, I think the FIAP is in recent years has been putting a lot of efforts on engineering accreditation. I think this is good because a lot of countries, especially in Asian countries, education is one of the best tools, to improve the people's living qualities. So in this section, there are going to be 9 papers to be presented, including one keynote speech. So without taking too much time, I'm going to introduce the first speaker, which is the keynote address. The speaker is Professor Jia-Yush. He is the Dean of College of Engineering, National Taiwan University. So he is my boss. And he is also currently the president of Chinese Institute of Automation Engineers. And also he is the Secretary General of IEET. And he's going to talk about international engineering education, accreditation, and the IET experience. Let's welcome Professor Yan.
Thank you, Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to be able to share some of my experience with you. And this afternoon, I'm going to just briefly go through some of the international engineering accreditation developments that we are aware of. And I also would like to probably share a little bit of our own experience with helping the FIAP engineering guideline. This probably you guys have already been exposed to, but probably have not noticed how much it has been going on. So with that, let me just start with some of the development that we are aware for the education engineering development. And I guess the most welcome or most recognized society is the International Engineering Alliance. Within the alliance, they are separated into educational track and engineering track. And, if you look at the accreditation, I guess most of the accreditation part is probably more welcome or more recognized by a lot of the accreditation bodies. And within these accords, there are national accords, city accords, and public accords. And for the engineering part, there are EPIC engineers and IDE, I guess, and international engineering technologies. These agreements are designed to help engineering mobility. So I will say even the accreditation accords are basically aimed toward the engineering mobility. So if we look at Washington Accord, which is mostly for the engineers, you will notice there has been a lot of developments. And starting from 1989 until now, there has already been 17 member full signatories. And if we arrange it in a chronological order, and you will notice basically it started out mainly with English-speaking countries and basically most of the Great Britain, United Kingdom-related countries. But until early 2000s, you will notice many of the non-English-speaking countries have started joining in. And until recently, we started to notice the trend moving from Europe toward East Asia, and it's gradually moving toward West Asia, and also starting to, if you are with the IEA meeting this year, you notice it's also migrating towards South America, which is a very good thing as far as the recognition is concerned. concern. But also, you will notice we are starting to face a lot of very complicated problems. And of course, we will start to try to dealing with it. If you look at the agreement itself, basically it is an agreement to verify compatibility, which means all the accreditation body try to recognize each other's decision. So basically, the main body is a signatory. Basically, the main body is not a program. Now, if you notice, look at the bottom half of the slides, you'll notice Washington Accord has started now to try to address peculiar situations. What I mean by peculiar situation is a situation when basically we're talking about one signatory per economy or one signatory per authority. But in many cases, we will have universities who setting up actual programs. And also, we may have signatory bodies who try to perform accreditation outside the boundary. And I guess some of you may have noticed there are disputes, and we are now still trying to sort out how best to handle these situations. Okay, so this is the Washington Accord as far as the authority is concerned. And there is also a movement as far as benchmarking is concerned. Before the signatory try to identify and encourage the implementation of best practice for the academic preparation of engineers. So by this, we try to promote mutual monitoring, we try to do regular meetings, and we try to invite observer accreditation visits. And those are regular things, so we perform a regular monitoring through every 6-year visits. And if you are with Washington Accord long enough, you'll notice before the accreditation visits or the recommendation was done by the signatories, try to declare that your accreditation process is similar to mine, or probably a better word is comparable to mine. So when we go to another country for a review meeting, basically we have 3 reviewers go to another country, and these reviewers will each say, look at the process of the reviewee, and each reviewer will say, okay, if your process is equivalent to mine. So when I went to Australia for review, it is fairly easy for me because I look at the process of Australia, and I will decide whether this process is similar to mine, it's better, or it's not compatible. So each signatory representative will declare if these processes are comparable, and if they all agree, then we say it's comparable. Now, starting, I guess, the year before, Washington Accord in 2013 has introduced a different measure. So the new approach is a little bit different. Washington Accord now has a standard substantial equivalent gradual attributes. And each reviewer, when they go to this country, instead of looking at the country and say if the process is comparable to my process, they started to, there's a rule for these, ruler for these reviewers. So the reviewers will look at the country being reviewed and start to examine it against the ruler. So there's this new attributes that's being implemented. So, for example, if I go to Malaysia for their review, I will have to, instead of checking it against the process in IABT, I will have to check it against the standard attribute published by Washington Accord. So now we have to worry about what are being published in the Washington Accord. Okay, so instead of so this basically what was published in Washington Accord, the core of the content is a gradual attribute. These graduate attributes define graduate outcomes. These are the attributes expected of the graduates of the graduate program. So instead of randomly thinking if the process is good enough or if the graduate outcome of the students are good enough, we check it against the attribute. And this attribute is basically divided into 4 different groups. The first group is a knowledge-oriented definition, and then there is a problem-solving group, and then there's also a skill-oriented group and an attitude-oriented group. The knowledge-oriented group is basically just knowledge, so there will be a knowledge profile defined. And this knowledge profile also defines the different levels of knowledge for different levels of professions. And then the problem-solving skill is also developed for different levels. Of course, the skill-oriented group is mainly for skills. So each group, they are now intended more toward practicing, more toward project management. And then, of course, there's also this attitude-oriented group. Within these groups, we try to define, or we try to qualify how the students behave toward their duty, they behave ethically. Okay, so if we look at the knowledge profile, you'll notice there are different levels of knowledge profile. The highest level being the research-informed knowledge, and this has been actually giving us a lot of headache as far as from the accreditation body is concerned. We are more now gearing toward more in-depth knowledge and more research ability expected from the graduates. Of course, then, less than that, there will be engineering and society to deal with how the graduates knows their responsibility within the society. And that also includes not only the problem solving, this will now deal with more of the problem that's not only mathematically solvable or technically achievable. We're talking about problems that has ethical or has different interest group concerns. Okay, now lower than that, we will now deal with engineering design and then engineering specialties and engineering foundations, fundamentals, and then mathematics with and the natural science being basics. So if you look at the levels of different knowledge profile, you'll notice that we probably require of graduates at different level have different abilities. But for most of the engineers that we talk about, basically we now expect them to be able to perform research, inform the knowledge, to be able to be society concerned and aware, and then be able to practice engineering design. Of course, these graduate attributes is not just developed by some people. It was discussed and it was published, and it has been published, and it has been inviting all the comments from the signatories, and there has been back and forth, and basically only until 2013, the year before, when Washington Court officially published these attributes. So from now on, Washington Court will use these attributes as a ruler base for examining the graduate outcomes. Now, in order to make sure all the Washington Court signatory meets these attributes, Washington Court carried out a gap analysis. So basically, there's a table for all the signatory to check their graduate attributes or to check their graduate outcomes and their rules and procedures, and to make sure if their graduate attributes matches the requirement of the new Washington Court attribute. So that we have been conducting for a while, and we have been debating among all these signatories. But basically, these attributes have been there and it hasn't been changed. So all the signatories eventually want to achieve that level. And like I say, if you look at the previous slides, you'll notice we are now expecting young engineers who just started into the profession to be able to dig into research literature and try to come up with solutions using these new understandings. Also, they will be able to understand their responsibility toward the society, and they will be able to understand the interest among different groups and try to come up with a compromise or try to deal with all these different problems. So it's not going to be as easy and as straightforward. So we're still we're still observing how these greater attributes will contribute to the engineering society. Now, that's the part with Washington core. And if you notice, we are now shifting the examining process, and we want to see how it will work in the future. Now there is a counterpart, and I'm not sure whether I want to say counterpart, because Washington core is now covering Europe, Asia, and America. And Euro is more Europe concentrated. But there is also a organization that carries out, it's a framework and a accreditation system that provides a set of standards that identifies highly qualified quality engineering degree programs. Now, if you look at their agency, they have already also 13 members, and these members are also very well recognized in the world. And if you look at their program outcomes defined, they accredit both master and bachelor of first cycle and second cycle degrees. And if you look at their outcomes defined, you'll notice they basically pretty much covers what Washington core has defined as the standard attributes. So if we look at these two standards, I'm not sure whether I should say standards or these two alliances, they basically cover similar thing and they require similar thing out of students. The only difference is Euro-Ace program is now promoting a 2-cycle degrees, the first cycle is 3 years, and the second cycle for 2 years. And Washington core has now been composed of both 4-year degrees and the 5-year 2-cycle degrees. And if you want to more closely pay attention to the development, you notice that we are now trying to see if there's harmonization between Washington core and the Euro-Ace degrees. And basically, we will try to harmonize the student outcomes, and I guess we are now working on terminologies. And if you want to check the main difference, I will say probably the main difference is that Washington core is basically verifying the comparable between the signatories or among the signatories. So the decision made by the signatories is accepted by the other signatories. While Euro-Ace label is awarded to the programs. So one is concentrated on more on the signature. The other one basically is focused on the program. So yeah, there are still slight differences. We are observing how it evolves. Of course, I guess many of you may be more concerned with our own FIAP guideline. So I'm also going to talk a little bit about FIAP guideline. And this guideline was published in 2010. It's an effort to join between FIAP and IWT and Taiwanese government, and a lot of the engineering societies here have donated or have contributed your help to make this possible. And basically, there is already Washington core and already Euro-Ace. So what we're trying to do is, instead of helping these developing countries to go into Washington core right away, we're trying to say, design a staged approach. The staged approach will first help the country which has no accreditation body or has no accreditation system to first establish a system that's acceptable or that's welcome for national building. And after that, we will eventually gradually help them or gradually observe them to become, to reach the Washington Accord UA's standard. Of course, if they wanted to become Washington Accord UA's member, it's their own decision. For FIAP guideline, we are trying to see if we can gradually help them to having a step or phased approach. Okay, so the first phase will be the tracking of the development needed for the digital economy to appropriate for nation building. And within FIAP guideline, I guess we are also publishing a fairly complete documentation, starting from the glossary so that all the member nations know terminology. We can unify with the terminology, and also there is a criteria template so that everybody knows where to follow. We do not yet publish an attribute because if you look at the Washington Accord attribute, it's an effort of a lot of very experienced people and a lot of discussion among the signatories. And FIAP guideline instead is established by many of the volunteers, and we do not yet at this moment want to define an attribute at this moment. Okay, and then, but we do have something more. We have guidelines for the accreditation system model framework, we have guidelines for the monitoring system, we have guidelines for evaluation and for recognition of the accreditation system, and then we also have we also spell out the system for periodic monitoring reviews. Now, with that in mind, we have already started implementing, and we have helped, especially with Myanmar. I guess just a little bit of that. IET is founded in 2003, and now we are a member of both Washington Accord, the Singapore, and also a member of FAA. Now we are also recognized by national Taiwanese government as a sole representative in engineering accreditation. And this is the current structure, and you probably know it already. Is our chair for this session. We are accepted with the accreditation body. Basically, we established quite a few accredited bodies within IWT to carry out accreditation for different subjects or different areas. And basically, we are doing pretty well. So we are already into our second cycle. In the first cycle, we reached probably somewhere around 400 programs. Now we're reaching 547 departments or programs. And I guess I'm not going to go through too many of these. And we have helped Washington Accord conducted several reviews, including 2 upcoming this year. And also, with the help of FIAP, IET, I'm not sure with the help of FIAP or FIAP helped IET, IET helped FIAP, we was able to visit many of the Asian countries. And these visits are aimed for understanding of the situation, of the engineering education situation in those countries. With all these visits, we were able to come up with some modification to the guideline, so that the guideline is more suited to help these countries develop. And these are some of these visit pictures. I'm not going to go through more details. We have mentored the Philippines, and I guess I just wanted to spend a little bit of time on how we help mentoring Myanmar. Basically, we started with a monitoring visit in May of 2013. These visits basically help us understand what the situation in Myanmar. And we know that they are establishing a accreditation system. They already have some review experiences, and they have well-established engineering society. So we actually visited them quite a few times. And after we decided that they are aggressively progressing, we decided that we can now go ahead and start to help them with establishing the rules, regulations, and we also help them train the evaluators. So these are two more significant meetings. The one on October 2004, we actually provided some lecture toward these how the IET perform our assessments, and some also help explain the process of our accreditation process. And in 2015, we went out there and helped them hold a training meeting. Professor Lu and Mandy are there as a lecturer to help train their evaluators. With these evaluators, they now are capable of starting their own evaluation process. Okay, so these are some of the pictures, and if actually once the evaluator got trained, they also can issue a certificate indicating that they have completed the training. Okay, so basically IET follows a two-cycle kind of accreditation system. We have we require the program to follow internal and external review cycles. And the process for IET accreditation takes 1.5 years. We started out with the program indicating their interest in being accredited, and then they have to submit a self-study report, and we will send a team. The team, I have a lot of slides, but I'm not going to be able to go through them in detail, so I'm just going to say that we have a 3-man team. The team will at least include one representative from industry, and we have quite a few review meetings. These meetings are not for the program. Once the meeting to the program is completed, we have more of the inter-program meetings or inter-reviewer meetings. Basically, there's a 3-man rule, and of course, we also have a different degree of in type of review. We have a different degree of consistency check. I was going to just jump to this slide and just mention that once the team is in the visit, we already conducted a consistency check among within the team among different programs, so that the program in the same institute basically receive the same similar problem, receive the same similar verdict. And once the team comes back, the reports comes back, our program office will try to do another consistency check with the wordings, and also we are trying to check the same area, the program from the same area receive similar credits or similar verdicts. And after that, we have a big engineering accreditation commission meeting. These meetings will be a big debate among all the two programs to make sure that these programs receive the correct or fair verdict. And of course, if you look at our decision meeting, there are quite a few decision meetings, and during the meeting, we also have a fairly consistent process. Of course, we have usually one meeting may require the voting of 50 to almost 100 programs. So we do try to condense the process to make sure that all the programs that need to be discussed. Okay, now IET itself has quite a few self-improving or self-continuous improving mechanisms, including we have almost bi-weekly meetings, and we also have meetings among the program feedbacks, and we also have committee review meetings. And then, of course, we are being reviewed by international courts every 6 years. So, sorry I'm running a little bit late, but with that, we try to say accreditation is serious, and we try to say accreditation means a lot of work. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so,
Over here, we'd like to present a token of appreciation for Dr. Yang over here. Can Dr. Lee come up here to present that?